As we grow older, we tend to forget about ourselves. We lose ourselves in a pool of responsibilities and worries that we have created, that then becomes our center of attention. We don't care as long as we do what is expected of us, losing ourselves in the process. I'm sure that we were all raised to think a certain way, to act in a certain manner. For many of us, there was no room for failure, too many expectations to live up to, too much pressure for kids and teens who were just supposed to have fun. Most of us would grow up to be anxious teens, constantly concerned about how others perceived us, concerned about letting people who were not so relevant down. And in the midst of all this, not once did we think of ourselves, but what we want. Situations get more difficult. This was definitely the case for me. Senior year of high school especially. The pressures of applying to college as schoolwork and extracurricular activities were piling up. I stayed up till the late hours of the night, finishing up God knows what, like many of us have, I'm sure. Days went by for what seems like eternity. However, they never ended there. Days went by for what seemed like eternity. Minutes feeling like hours, hours feeling like years, years feeling like decades. And I kept going. The routine was always the same. As deadlines approached, I became tremendously restless. I ran on 2 hours of sleep and one meal throughout the entire day. There were days where I would close my eyes and see millions of bright golden stars moving in soothing circular patterns, which is ironic. Dehydrated, underslept, underfed, and overworked, I forced myself to continue the day. I had a very long day awaiting. I knew I was not in the state of mind to go through with it. Yet, there I went, not wanting to disappoint anyone that depended on me. I was on my feet every second of the hour, technically with zero time to breathe. In this moment, I was on stage preparing for a concert. As the music began to play, I felt a tad strange. My chest was tight. It felt as if my shoe would feel when I tied the laces with all my force. I let myself get lost in the music. My body flew along with every note, every beat. The feeling of the sky blue light shining above me was indescribable. As I continued, the music began to soften. My vision blurred, millions of dots clouded my sight. I felt as if tiny ants were crawling against my skin. My body was falling asleep. Every step I took weaker than the last. My legs struggled to move. The stage began to feel like quicksand, each move harder than the other. I could feel tears forming in my eyes. Breathing became difficult. The air felt stuck in my lungs, as if it had no way out. As I collapsed, all I could see was everything I had done wrong. I saw this broken person who was unable to care for themselves for all the wrong reasons. I could taste the fear in my mouth. Fear of being a disappointment to everyone who had witnessed the scene, a disappointment to my parents for not being able to handle the pressure the right way. Various voices whispered in my ear. I couldn't pin which voice was which. The only voice I was able to hear was the voice in my head, telling me that I had made a mistake. This incredibly difficult time in my life taught me more than I needed to learn. It taught me to be someone that I wanted to be, not someone that others wanted me to be. I understood that I needed to get into a healthy way of life, where I wouldn't be so tired or hungry every minute of every hour. Not many teach their children the importance of mental health, and not many stop to think about it either. Many fail to realize that if your mental health is not where it's supposed to be, neither will your physical health or your state of mind. I hope to help others comprehend what I failed to. I learned how to find the right way to balance responsibilities, health-wise and school-wise. I was hit with the realization that I was important. My health was important, physical and mental. I mattered more than anything else. There are many times where you must go through the real crappy things in life to show light in the good ones. For something that sounds so simple, It truly is a difficult thing to do when you've got hundreds of more things to worry about. I hope to not only continue to be the person I am today, but to grow as much as possible and be 1,000 times better than I currently am. With that being said, do not forget that you are wonderful and that you matter. We can all do this. We can all do this. Maybe not now, but in the near future.